A Russian drone has struck the protective shelter over the Chernobyl nuclear reactor. This incident occurred overnight and resulted in a fire, which has now been extinguished. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy confirmed the attack. He labeled it a terrorist act. The drone carried a high-explosive warhead. The shelter protects the remains of Chernobyl's fourth reactor, which exploded in 1986. This catastrophe is regarded as the world's worst nuclear disaster. The structure is designed to contain radiation for a century. Zelenskyy condemned the attack, stating that Russia poses a terrorist threat. He remarked that no other country attacks nuclear sites in this manner. He emphasized that Russia's actions disregard global safety. Meanwhile, radiation levels at Chernobyl remain stable. The International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, corroborated this information. The IAEA reported that its personnel heard an explosion around 2 a.m. local time. They confirmed that a drone had struck the roof of the new safe confinement. Fire safety teams responded promptly to the incident. Zelenskyy brought into light that the shelter was a collaborative effort involving Ukraine and other nations. He stated that it was built to ensure global security. The damage to the shelter is assessed as, however, radiation levels have not increased. Continuous monitoring is in place to track any changes. Zelenskyy noted that Russia conducts nightly attacks on Ukrainian infrastructure. He accused Russia of expanding its military operations. He suggested that these actions indicate that President Putin is not preparing for negotiations. Zelenskyy called for unified global pressure against Russia. He insisted that Russia must be held accountable for its actions. The IAEA remains vigilant following the incident. Its director warned of risks associated with military conflicts near nuclear sites. Chernobyl has been a focal point of concern since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Russian troops seized the plant briefly in early 2022, but later withdrew. The drone strike coincides with increased military activity near the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. In December, both Ukraine and Russia accused each other of drone attacks on an IAEA convoy. Reports indicate that Ukrainian forces claimed Russia launched 133 drones across Ukraine recently. Out of these, 73 were shot down. The timing of the Chernobyl attack it occurred just hours before the Munich Security Conference. At this event, Zelenskyy is expected to meet with US officials. He plans to discuss the situation in Ukraine. Zelenskyy has urged world leaders to increase pressure on Russia. He believes that accountability is essential for global security. The IAEA has stated that there is no room for complacency. The agency continues to monitor the situation closely. The risks of military actions near nuclear facilities are substantial. The incident at Chernobyl serves as a reminder of these dangers. The global community is watching the developments in Ukraine closely. The situation remains fluid and tense. The implications of these military actions extend beyond Ukraine. They raise concerns about nuclear safety worldwide. Zelenskyy's response puts stress on the seriousness of the threat. The international community must remain engaged. The stakes are high, and the consequences of inaction could be dire. Thus, the Russian drone strike on the Chernobyl shelter has raised alarm. It marks the ongoing military threats amid the invasion of Ukraine. Zelenskyy's condemnation reflects the urgency of the situation. The world must pay attention to these developments. The safety of nuclear sites must be a priority for all nations.